Hi everybody, all my followers, be welcome to another video. Right, the video today is on this 2009 Fiat 500. It's in a bit of a state. It's not very, and obviously someone has been here already. The cover is there. Right, let me explain you what's wrong with this car. So, this car came to me as a no crank, no start. I'm gonna show you that. I'm gonna press the clutch. I'm not sure if you need to press the clutch, whatever. Car is in neutral, it's a manual gearbox. So, key on. And now I'm gonna turn the key. And nothing happens. Okay. Try it again. Nothing happens. Now, when I had the car dropped, the car came actually driving. Now, let me explain you how apparently this car starts. This car starts if you push a start. So basically means, I think it's push start, you say it, which is basically you push the car. When you have some momentum, you engage a second gear or so, release the clutch. That will turn. That obviously it will turn the engine, and the engine starts. And apparently the car starts perfect like that. The car came running, was running okay. I can't remember if there's any lights on the dash, but I think was a battery light in there. And yeah, that's the problem. So no crank, no start unless you push it. Obviously, I'm not gonna do that here, so I can't really show it. But yeah, it doesn't crank, and obviously it doesn't start. Now, when the car was dropped, the guy came with a battery pack, no battery pack, yeah, battery pack, a starter, a jump pack, that's what you call it, connected under the bonnet to the battery. And he said the battery was a little bit low. I had a look at the battery, and actually, let me show you this. I will actually show you. Oh, dear me. So, I got my battery tester, plug it on the battery, and the battery was reading 4 point something volts, which is that battery in there. So, that's the old battery. It looks like a really old battery, to be fair. And yes, again, the car was driving when it came. And the battery, as soon as it turned it off, I took the jump pack, connect my tester, and the battery read 4.80 something volts. So I told him straight away, I will not work on this unless you bring me a battery, which he actually did. Let me just show you. Ah, come on. How do you open this? It's there. Which he actually brought me a brand new battery, which I fitted it on the day because it also came, just put the thing in here, because it came with a window open, and obviously I want to close the window. Anyway, there's a new battery, so battery is not the problem. I will be plugging in the charger if we're going to be here working for a long time with the ignition on. But I think the first thing we're going to do, guys, is what? Shall we scan it, or shall we do something else? Before I actually do anything else, I don't like something that I've seen on this car, which is this, right? There is some sort of, I'm not sure. So the remote for the car itself, as I'm going to show you. Ah, damn it, the bonnet is open, isn't it? So I can't show you. Hold on a second. Sorry guys, was not the bonnet, was my door. This door was not fully closed. Anyway, so you're gonna see it locks and unlocks, but it also locks and unlocks with this thing. And there is some sort of LED in there that lights up when you lock it. And there is some buttons in there, which I'm not sure what they are for. Yesterday I pressed some of these buttons and one of the buttons actually opened the window for some odd reason. So honestly, I'm not really sure what this system is, if this is some sort of immobilizing system as well at the same time. Honestly, I don't know. But when you see aftermarket stuff fitted on a car like this, you start to think that maybe this is something else. But I'm not familiar with this anyway. I don't have a clue what this is. I might actually... Clifford, that's what it says in there. I might actually go and try to find out what this is. If this somehow immobilizes the car, maybe. There is a possibility. And then we'll be scanning the car, so don't go anywhere, because I will be back in a second. Okay, so for you guys that are familiar with this, so I did a little bit of research, and these Clifford things, they are basically aftermarket alarms and immobilizer systems. That's all they are. So what I've decided to do at this point, I've rang the owner. By the way, this car came straight from auction. I forgot to mention that, I think. It's an auction car. And obviously these buttons either should disengage the immobilizer when you press unlock, or it might be some sequence of buttons that you need to press in order to disengage the immobilizer. I could have done some research, but I rang the owner first. I said, look, this is what you have, blah, blah, blah. And he just said, look, just get rid of that, if possible. So I said, yeah, I can take it off, no problem. So he said, yeah, get rid of that, take the remotes out of the keys, and yeah, just work normal with the key. So that's what we're doing next, or I've done it already. These systems, they work all in a very similar way. What they usually do, they come to the ignition switch, which comes from there, this loom, and they cut the signals from the key, from the barrel to crank the engine. And basically what happens is they cut these two wires here, and these two wires goes in here. They go into the control box, whatever that is, from Clifford, and then they come back on these two wires there, and these two wires goes back into the car's circuit. And what this system does basically is opens the circuit, whatever it is, opens the circuit, so when you crank the engine, the signal goes all the way to the box, but then it doesn't come back to actually crank the car unless you disarm the system. So that's all it is. So I've cut this off for now, joined everything together, and we should have a cranking car right now. So let's gonna try. Where is the key? I'm not gonna even stop recording, even though this is a little bit of a mess. I want to get some cloth tape around there to make it look better. Let me just close this. Okay, let's gonna give it a go. See if it cranks. No, it doesn't. Will this have some sort of pedal maybe? Nope. Now, this is weird now. I was expecting a cranking car now. Do I need to press brake maybe? What the heck's going on? This is strange. Right, so... Right. You see the... you can't probably see the oil light is flashing for some odd reason. So, if this thing immobilized, airbag failure. Yeah, that's fine, because the airbag is disconnected. Right, so you can see the airbag light. Oh, you can't really see, but the oil light is flashing for some reason. It shouldn't be doing this. So I think there's other issues with this car. Anyway, right, the car should crank right now, because we just, unless they did something else on this thing. This is strange, really strange. Okay, let's gonna carry on digging to see if this system is tapped elsewhere maybe. Okay. Okay, stay over there, stay on that side. I'll try to figure out what's going on. Okay, so yeah, you see now the oil light went off. It shouldn't have gone off. Anyway, so I took this glove box out. It's there on the floor, and there is loads of stuff around here. Obviously, we have a box here. It's just aftermarket. Obviously, it's the alarm thing. We have the antenna here. We have some more stuff in there. some more stuff here, other than there. There's some relays right there at the back. Don't know if you can see them. These relays here. Oh crap, come on phone. Let's just focus. Let's see if I can twist it a little bit. Some relays here at the back. Don't know if you can. You can't really see them, can you? And there's two relays there. One here, one here. So I'm going to basically just rip all these out. Get all the crap out. Oh dear me. And redo all the car connections. Yeah. Let's see if we get this running. Right. All removed. And I still have a crank. Sorry. I still have the same issue. So, key on. No crank. Right, at this point, you probably can see the car is a little bit on a tilt. I've lifted the car, and I rang the owner as well. I rang the owner and I've asked him if was anything else done to this. So he told me the following. What else was done to the car?
There's nothing, honestly. It's just only done, you know, there is what's called alternator. If you do Greenwood and you check, and that's it. The rest you don't touch anything.
Okay, was that the alternator or the starter motor?
No, alternator. No, nobody touched starter motor.
No? Okay then.
No.
Okay. So, as you have seen, he said only the alternator was touched, but when I go under the car, I found something different. Okay, so when I go underneath here, as you can see, that alternator, that starter motor has definitely been touched. Now, or replaced, I'll say. Now, I'm not saying the guy was lying. It could have been that was wherever touched it before the car went to auction, but definitely that starter motor, well, it's been replaced. And there is something else. It's just me. It's going to be very difficult to show you this now. It is just me, or where is the thing? It is right there. Let's see if I can show you this somehow. It's just me, or that trigger wire for the solenoid for the starter motor is connected to the same place as the main power. It's just me, or am I seeing things? So I'm going to disconnect the battery, take that off, and give a good inspection. Oh, this is difficult. Okay, guys. Okay, my bad. Is actually not was not actually connected together. I never had one of these in bits, so it was a learning curve for me. But basically, what happens is at the front on this side is the main power cable for the starter motor, and then on this side behind you have this kind of a washer, which is the trigger wire to obviously start the motor. I'm measuring it because that's a brown wire, and I believe that this wire goes all the way from here to the ignition switch. So we're going to measure this at the ignition switch to see if we have continuity in there. If we do have, then either my starter motor is bad, or the voltage to the ignition switch is not there. So let's go to measure this first and see what we get. So, oh dear me, oh, this is not easy. Oh. Right, so what we're gonna measure is we're gonna measure that into this brown wire there. See that brown wire? I believe this is the one that goes all the way down to the starter motor. Okay, so I'm gonna, because the multimeter is far away, I'm going to actually, let me do something here. Oh, hold on a second. Let me get the probe. So back probe, brown wire. we have continuity. So the next step is going to be put everything back on and perhaps inject voltage on this brown wire and see if it cranks. If it cranks, then that means is the feed into the ignition switch that's missing, but we'll get to that in a bit. Right, I had a look at diagrams, and the diagrams for some reason they don't really match what I'm seeing on the car. So I'm a little bit confused right now. Yeah. Nevertheless, we've seen that this brown wire goes straight to my starter motor. I do have voltage on my orange, on my red and green. So I'm gonna guess that this orange is gonna be terminal 15, ignition on. So let's gonna, this is something else, these are the plug. So let's gonna, just to confirm what I'm seeing, where is the keys? So let's gonna check that. I don't know if you can see. Hold on a second. See if you can see the test light somehow. Right, I'm gonna do this. Right, orange there, so orange. See if this is correct. Hold on. It's not in place. Gosh. This light doesn't really reach there, does it? Oh, there we go. That's ignition on. And let's gonna see if I have voltage coming out on this wire when I crank. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. So it looks like I might have a bad starter motor then. Okay, and before I actually condemned the starter motor, I decided to do a few more checks. One, I went underneath the starter motor and did the tapping technique, see if that would work. No difference. And before I condemn the starter motor, I need to make sure there's only one thing actually left to check on the starter motor. So I have power on that main cable. I have a good wire from here all the way down to the trigger, all the way to the starter motor. So what is left, guys? Come on, ground. So the way I'm going to test the ground is quite simple. I have everything pretty much ready. So key is here, but as you can see, I've jumped the power, the voltage from the middle wire. Okay, I jumped that from the middle wire to the signal wire to the starter motor. So right now the starter motor should be running, should be cranking, okay, and obviously is not. So the way I'm going to check the ground, I will show you. Oh dear me. Yep, with some cables. So ground, take these off. So it's connected to ground. And now I'm gonna ground the engine somewhere. Do I need to say anything else? I don't think I do. Okay, so I removed the jumper from the ignition, and now we are going to investigate where this ground goes, etc. And try to figure out why the ground is bad on the engine. Let's kind of look for it then. Okay, and I moved the clutch actuator from here out of the way, and look at this cable. Can you see this? Oh dear. That's gonna make a new strap, and we should have a fix. Yeah, it was bad. Look at that. Look at that. There was nothing left. Right, I should still have. I'm gonna have a look, because I should still have some of those straps I bought some time. Yes, I do have. Here we are, 2 of them. Are they the same length? Yeah, they are the same length, and I think they should do. One of these should do. It will be easier than me be making one, so I'll leave in there. It's gonna fit this and see if that fixes the problem. Okay, all in place, and let's gonna give it a go and see what happens. It will be brilliant if this thing actually cranks, and even better if it starts. Oh man, look at that, beautiful. Okay, we do have an airbag light, engine light, etc. Let's go to see what's going on. But yeah, plug in that airbag. But we got this sorted, guys. We got this sorted. Okay, guys, and I had to put all the tools away, etc. I had to go and pick up the girls from school. Just came back. I did a mistake, which I should have showed you. I don't know what I was thinking about when I've cleared the codes from the engine ECU. But I think it was a code in here. I'm going to be able to show you this because I should be able to come here. It's already running. Okay, so at the moment there is no codes. I've cleared all the codes, but there was a code in there for alternator feedback, alternator something feedback, which is probably why they did that. What else was done to the car?
There's nothing, honestly. It's just only done, you know, there is what's called alternator. You give to Greenwood and he check, and that's it. Rest I don't touch anything.
And in reality, the only thing it was the ground that was missing from the engine block, which obviously the alternator needs the ground from there in order to work. Also, most likely that oil, that engine oil flashing was probably that as well, because obviously the engine switch, they usually are just a switch to ground, so they take the ground from the chassis. When the oil pressure reach the triggers the sensor just grounds and sends a ground signal through the wire. Because there was no ground in there, obviously that was just probably messing it up, I think. But I've just deleted the codes, and I'm going to show you. Where's the key? And I'm going to show you that this starts just fine first time, and you're going to see that there is no codes anywhere. Everything is good. Just the door open. There we go. Seat belt, handbrake, and the usual yellow light. Right. So, but yeah, guys, it looks like the only issue was a bad ground, including for the alternator. I'll quick jump out of this. Actually, let me do a auto scan and erase all the codes from the car. And then I'll show you, because I've scanned this car yesterday, guys, so I should have here the codes from yesterday. But let me do an auto scan and clear the car before we come out of the program. And he actually reported no faults, which is good. Let's now come out of this and let me show you on the scan I did yesterday. That was today. That was a different one. Fiat Punto was that one in there. Oh no, I don't want to go like this. Crap. I did it wrong. Sorry, guys. I shouldn't press the blue little car, because that just takes you back into the car. I should have pressed just the logo, the big square. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. Okay, so there we go. So that was the code. It was active yesterday along with the oil pressure switch. So it was P0621. And I guess that's why they removed the check configuration, probably, all this stuff. Which is probably why they actually got the alternator removed and sent to be checked. Also, guys, I know at this point you guys are saying, well, probably was nothing wrong with that alarm system. Probably it wasn't. Honestly, my conversation with the guy was, look, it might be that there is an issue with that. I will have to go and check, but he literally told me straight away, get rid of that, take it off. take that out, I don't need that, blah 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 blah. So he gave me pretty much freedom straight away to get rid of that, and by removing it, that eliminated straight away anything wrong with that system. And to be fair, is one less thing to go wrong with a car that, oh well. Oh well. Anyway, yeah, with no further ado, well, I'm gonna obviously put everything back together now with just the glove box, etc., and get rid of all that stuff. But the car is fixed, so as you've seen, let me start it up again. Straight away, guys, it started immediately and it's running perfect. That's it, job done. So with no further ado, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope there's some information here you guys can find useful. If you do have any questions, any comments, please put them below, and like always, thank you for watching.